Young people are taking ever-increasing roles in politics through youth-led organizations. However, there are some key actions they could be taking to increase being heard. Find out in this video.
What do you believe is the unique role that young people play in social and political movements and organizations?
I think that that's being defined. And what I'd really like to see is young people. There are a lot of forces that are trying to, tell that story for young people or make young people believe that their power looks a certain way or that they don't have power or that, their desires are shaped by algorithms or by the marketing campaigns of major corporations or acts, things like that. Um, I think that the power for young people is really going to be resisting those currents and resisting um, the messaging that and the story that other people want to tell. And so that's been a really powerful thing for Voters of Tomorrow as a Gen Z led organization. Our staff ranges from 17 years old to 27 years old. And we are focused on, making sure that there are young people, high schoolers, college students, and professionals who are telling or who are in the media, on social media and mainstream media, making sure that there are people who are actually young talking about the ways that young people are looking at the world and not just, allowing pundits and establishment figures to tell that story for us.
Since you said that the power of young people is very important. So, in your opinion, how important are youth led movements and organizations for young people to really voice their opinions and concerns towards issues like in politics or democracy?
Yeah, definitely extremely important. Like I said, I think that the idea that young people are the future has always been around. And that's always something that's going to be talked about, all these anxieties about, what are young people doing? What are they watching? What are they thinking? What is the world going to look like in 30 years? That's going to be determined by folks who are in high school and college right now. And so it's always going to be a concern. So we can either allow people to project their own anxieties onto us and try to mold us into the world that they want to see, or we can take the reins. And I think these, the incredible organizations, March for Our Lives, whether it's March for Our Lives, Voters of Tomorrow, High School Democrats of America, any sort of youth-led organization has the power to take a more active role.
And since you're in charge, like you're a great leader in all of these like movements, what are some of the key challenges young leaders face like in youth led organizations when trying to make their voices heard in like movements and so on?
Yeah, I mean, it's really about we can't do this alone, right? We need to strike a balance between plugging into the larger movements for justice and political empowerment that play by certain rules. We need to understand those rules. We need to respect those rules, but we also need to push back on some of those norms in order to create the change that we want to see. So the biggest challenge I would say is um, gaining access to those spaces, learning the rules of those spaces, and knowing when to step in and knowing when to step back. Um, and I think that mentorship is a really important part of that. I think that, I've met so many incredible people who are, way younger than what people would expect for people who are involved in the political arena. And as intelligent and precocious as people are, they always benefit from, having folks who've been in the game longer than them who can mentor and help them kind of introduce them to people, but also help them understand, okay, like if this is what you want, if you want to change this rule or you want to impact this institution in a certain way, here are the values that you need to adhere to in order to gain the respect of people in the room or in order to play at that level.
Take a moment to hit that subscribe button and then watch our next video to find out what young people think about voting. Because it's not what you think.